Hey, Coachella Valley, and welcome to Live with your Chamber of Commerce. My name is Katie Stice, CEO at the Rancho Mirage Chamber. Today's been a big day. We've been paying really close attention to the news, what's happening in our community, and no matter what, your Chamber of Commerce team, our board, we all stay really plugged in because this community matters, and we know that we have a voice. We have friends here that we want to care for, and we have a lot of great businesses and nonprofits to support as well. And I'm really excited today because we're going to talk a little bit about the American Heart Association, a super fun walk that is coming up, and how you guys can also get involved. So let's bring in our guests, and I'm going to move you, Brian, up top because you're the chair. It's like musical chairs up here. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Brian Hodgkins, who you are with Desert Oasis Healthcare, and you're chairing the Heart Walk this year, and Danielle Grout, who's Regional Director of the American Heart Association. Welcome to the show, you two.
Thanks, Katie.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's a pleasure to be here and be not only a supporter of the Heart Walk, but just also what we like at Desert Oasis Healthcare to remind people is we're also a steward of your health and wellness in the community. So wearing two hats today.
Absolutely. And we appreciate that. And let's just jump right in. I'm going to put a little banner up that has the Heart Walk information on it. I mean, we all know it. We've heard about it. We know things are different this year. Tell us how the community can get involved this year.
Well, let me just let your listeners and watchers in on a little secret. If you don't know this by now, we're at 7 months into a pandemic, which has made all of us have to not only pivot quickly into finding ways, and even us as a big employer in the desert, to find ways to keep our employees safe, keep the community safe, really strategize with the bigger healthcare companies like Desert Care Network and Eisenhower in the community, and then pay attention really to our partners in health. We're here year-round with us, and that's the American Heart Association. So trying to do charitable work during a pandemic is not easy, and so we're here today to kind of share with you some ideas about how important it is to stay engaged with these types of events, even if you have to do it a little differently. So Danielle, tell them how it's going to be different this year during a pandemic.
It is going to look a little different. It's still really about our mission. Our mission is to be a relentless force for a world of longer, healthier lives. And I feel like right now, especially with everything going on, a lot of us are struggling. It's stressful. There's a lot going on. So we are still having the walk. It's going to look a little different. Still the same date we had planned a year ago, November 21st. We won't be getting together at Palm Desert Civic Center Park this year. And that's okay, though. We've got a really neat digital activation, if you will, that we're doing so that we can still bring together everybody, separate but together. So we're going to be practicing, safe distancing. The idea, the amazing thing about the Heart Walk and with a lot of our walks in the community, it's really those weeks leading up to the walk that we're focused on the fundraising and the mission and the awareness. The day has always been a day to celebrate, the success we had as a team that raised a certain number of dollars that they reached or they set their goal for, or a team that, got 50 people to come and join them at the park. And really celebrating survivors has always been a big part of that. So we'll be doing that in a digital way. We'll be using Facebook as our platform. So we're going to have a Facebook event page where you can go online. I almost think of our in-person walk and how it looked, even last year, people taking selfies, people taking pictures with their team and posting them. Now we're posting them all in the same place so we can look at that page, and that will have been our event, and it'll live there forever. So there's kind of a silver lining there that we're always going to have this event that lives there with all these great pictures and videos, and it can be more about the walk this year. We're inviting people to share pictures of their healthy breakfast, share pictures of what they're making for lunch that day, how they're shopping healthier, and just a whole new spin on it. So it's different, but it's been really fun.
What's so great about this kind of walk now that it's virtual is that people really can participate anywhere. So on my team, I can invite friends from another state and, my family in San Diego and my nephew who's in the Army, and we can all participate in something. And, you're kind of spread out now throughout, the country. There are no limits. So I think it's such a great thing. And Brian, you were going to add something. I think I cut you off.
For me, it's exciting. We do sponsor a lot of these types of events. And every time I go to Palm Desert Park and I walk those 2 circuitous laps around the park, I love Palm Desert. It's always great weather. But this year, you get to pick any route anywhere that you want to walk, virtually, or you could join me on the trail, socially distanced and wear a mask when you have to. But I'll be doing the cross hike this year again as my contribution to the walk while my team is walking all over everywhere else.
I love that point, Brian. And that's something we've talked to some of our teams about. People have gotten, I don't know, in a way more excited about it, because they're saying that like, "Ooh, I'm going to do this hike," or, "Oh, this is really neat. I clocked," someone told me the other day, I clocked how many laps around my neighborhood will equal 5K so that I could still feel like I'm doing the same walk. And I loved hearing that.
And it's all outdoors.
That's perfect.
So.
Well, so people can sign up with teams individually with their businesses. Are you still looking for sponsorships? What kind of opportunities are there for people to get involved right now?
Yeah, great question. So always looking for sponsorship opportunities. One way that we've really, the P word, pivoted a lot this year, especially the AHA or American Heart Association as a whole, we've focused more of our sponsorships, like the sponsorship we have with Desert Oasis Healthcare, on greater impact in the community. So the Heart Walk has always kind of been the icing on the cake, as is our Go Red Luncheon that we have in February. So even though it seems like, the event's coming up, is it too late to sponsor? It's really not, because we're focusing our sponsorship these days on bigger impact in the community. So we could come up with something now that's going to take place over the next year, with this year's Heart Walk, maybe even next year's Heart Walk being part of it. So that's how the sponsorship is. For our participation, it's so fantastic too. I love that you said, Katie, people can participate from anywhere now. We've got one team that National Charity League, who's always been a supporter, always comes out to the walk. And because of this new virtual setting, they actually are one of our top 5 teams right now, because they've been able to work with their whole region and register. There's no fee to register. There are incentives, of course, some cool rewards when you fundraise at certain levels, but it's such a great event because anybody can get involved, and there's no fee to register when you first come on.
That's perfect. And I love that the focus, something that this virus has done within our community is there are a lot of people who have really started focusing on health in such a different way now. And so this is a really fun way to get out of the house and challenge your friends and, get folks together and really continue that healthy lifestyle discussion. I know for me, my own personal story, this is very important to me and my family. My father has had a quadruple bypass surgery. And so healthy eating has been a part of our lifestyle so much more now in these last 2 years. So I'm going to be walking with my dad. We might do the cross hike with you, Brian. I don't know yet.
Why not?
But let's talk a little bit. I'm really curious to know, before we went on live, we were talking a little bit about Desert Oasis Healthcare and Life is Why. Tell me a little bit about that program.
Well, we've been a sponsor, or I would just say partner, with the AHA now for 3 years. And the Life is Why is one of their large national campaigns that really ask each of us to consider what change we're going to make and what's the motivation. So as you pointed out, your dad had a quadruple bypass. Both of my parents have passed away, both of them from heart disease at a very young age, like in the 50s, which put me at great risk. And as being a practitioner and a provider on the healthcare team in the desert, we spend all of our time focusing on getting people unsick. And if we could just spend a lot more time, I think, keeping people well,
yes.
I think that would be well worth it. And I think the Life is Why is just look in the mirror and ask yourself, why are you walking every day? Why are you committing to be a healthier person? So for us, it's sponsorship with the AHA. They do lots of great work locally and nationally. Something that just keeping your blood pressure in check. I think we're a gold medal winner with the AHA this year, which means all of our employees are involved and engaged in keeping themselves well. And so we commit a lot to keeping not just community, but our neighbors and each other. And so that's part of the Life is Why strategy and campaign for us.
Really love it. I mean, and it's such a perfect fit. And again, I think it's just it's a really timely campaign to talk about and be out in the community. We did get a couple of comments are flying in. People love American Heart Association. And of course, you're getting shout outs from National Charity League Mothers and Daughters. I'm so happy that they got mentioned. So Danielle, tell us that you also there's a wellness symposium that's coming up. Tell us a little bit about what that's all about.
Yeah, so that's actually kind of under the umbrella of this Life is Why partnership that we have with DOHC. So we've aligned with them to present this Worksite Wellness Symposium. It's taking place November 5th, online, of course, but it's really an opportunity. We've looked, and I love that Brian mentioned, one thing I love about DOHC is not only their commitment to their members, but also their employees. So the Worksite Wellness Symposium is really about coming together, talking about building a healthy workplace, especially these days. Man, I think about, the range we have of the healthcare heroes that are overwhelmed and dealing with different kinds of stresses, and to the people working from home, dealing with those new stresses with kids at home and animals, or, multiple people working in one living room, on their computers. So we're going to focus a lot about that in this COVID environment. But even if we weren't in this year that we're in, it's so important that we're talking about worksite wellness. And, we have some partners here in Coachella Valley like DOHC that do participate in our Workplace Health Achievement Index, which we'll talk a little bit about on that call. But it's really, an opportunity. Anyone's welcome to attend. It's free to the community. We're expecting, people, HR departments, wellness coordinators, think they're going to find the most benefit for this symposium. But it could even be someone who has a walking club at their work and really, drives that. Anything that's bringing wellness into the workplace. Years ago, AHA discovered that people are spending, as we know, we spend a lot of time at work. Right now, work might be kind of merging with home, but we're spending a lot of time in the workplace. So bringing those wellness resources to workplaces has been so important.
And I would just add, I was just going to quickly interject, when this pandemic hit, we had to send 700 employees home to work literally in a week. And if you think about it, that's a safety measure that was in, accordance with what we thought was going to be good for them. But then you start dealing with, parents at home, kids out of school, trying to learn at home. We keep talking about, all these frontline workers, they're our heroes, and that's true. But I think we have a lot of heroes in our neighborhood. They're working from home right now, doing all those things that they have to do to keep themselves and their families safe and well during really some trying times.
So true. And I think that this symposium is just hits the nail on the head. It's really timely. I really want to participate, and I want to encourage everyone out there too, because these are trying times, and just if people had even a few takeaways from there that could make things a little bit better or a little bit lighter moving ahead, then I think people would feel really good about it. Speaking of that, are there a few tips that you all want to share? Maybe that would help folks, that they can start doing new habits they can start in the next day or week or so?
Yeah. Brian, do you want me to take that one?
Well, you go first, and then I'll tell you some of the things that we do with our employees.
Oh my gosh, I would love that. DOHC does some amazing things. I mean, we've really focused, I would say, as an organization, moving more is a big one. That's always been a challenge, I think, for a lot of people, but I can speak for myself, just spending so much more time in front of the screen these days than we did before. So that's been a big part of it. Taking those breaks, we do that internally, even as an organization. It's easier said than done, that's for sure, but really dedicating that time. We are the AHA, so we have to practice what we preach. So we really message that out to our own staff as well. And then just really that wellness piece of it. And this could mean a lot of things for a lot of different people, but taking care of your mental health right now is, that's always been important, but we know right now it's even more important. So taking those times, taking the actions, whatever you need to manage your stress during the week. Everyone's a little different. So I'd love to hear, Brian, though. I know you guys have some great resources that you do.
Well, we have a COVID morale committee, since a lot of our employees are working from home. So we spend a lot of time strategizing on how to keep the workforce engaged, entertained, and healthy. We've done healthy cooking during lunch. We've done Zumba classes for our employees working from home. Thanks to the AHA, they've worked with us to do these things. And we have tremendous turnout. Right now is our week of WOW, so we've been really focusing on our heroes throughout the organization and company. And then also keeping them engaged in these commitments that we make to our partnerships. This year in 2020, Fortune 500 magazine, we were the 27th best place in healthcare to work. And that's a true testament to our commitment to our employees, both to have an engaging workplace, but also keeping them, engaged, healthy, and keeping the work interesting. So we do lots of, and we're not alone. We steal from every other good company in the community that we partner with. All of our employer groups, we work with them to find out what they're doing that works for them and their employees. And we just take it and make it our own. So
I love that you said that.
We can do it.
Yeah. So Brian, are you taking the Zumba class too then? Are you out there kind of dancing in the class or?
Yes, I did. I did Zumba, yoga.
Awesome.
I did fresh cucumber salad. I've done it all.
That is so cool. Well, you guys, thank you so much just for doing what you do, stepping up as chair and taking on this job with the American Heart Association. It just says a lot about both of you to spend your time on health and wellness for our community. And it doesn't, it is seen and it's appreciated and it's valued very much. So we appreciate it. I'm going to put this date right back up here for everyone who's out there watching. The date's on your screen. I'm going to challenge you all to sign up and be a part of this incredible virtual 5K. If you want to join Brian up on the cross hike, or you can walk with my dad and I, social distance, of course, but let's definitely, challenge one another, have a great time with it, and put health first. Thank you guys both for joining us today. We appreciate it. It's going to be a great success. I just know it. And I'll be sure to take information about the symposium and put them in the comments for folks as well.
Thanks so much, Brian. Thank you for having us, Katie.
Yes.
Absolutely. Take care, you guys. We'll see you soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.
And thank you all so much for joining us today on Live with Your Chamber. Don't you just love this community and the people who create these great events to really drive home health and wellness? It's a truly special place, and it's more important now than ever to support our nonprofit organizations who provide incredible essential services to the Coachella Valley and to residents. I hope everybody signs up. I'm going to sign up. I'm going to challenge you to do the same thing. We'll look forward to seeing you virtually through that walk. It's going to be a lot of fun. If there's a way that I can help you professionally, your business or your nonprofit, please don't hesitate to reach out. Katie at the Rancho Mirage Chamber. Take care.